So today I wanted to show you how I go ahead and finish and put a backing on my embroidered hoop art. So today I have this one here that I made the other day, where flowers bloom, so does hope, with this little floral cluster in here. This is a, what is it? 7.5 inch hoop. So to make it look kind of finished and pretty, and to protect the stitching on the back, this is how I go about doing my hoops. There are plenty of other different methods for doing this, so I encourage you to just try a few different types and see which one you like the best. This is what works for me, and so yeah, let me show you what I do. So first thing is I have to take this out of the hoop. I have a hard time with my hands sometimes, so I use this here, these pliers, to loosen up the screw on the top of the hoop. It does have a little, this one has a screwdriver for a flathead screwdriver, so you could do it that way as well, or if you have stronger hands than me, you can just use your hands. So what I do first is take it out of the hoop, so I have just the hoop here, and then I take this inner hoop and I take this is just a regular piece of chipboard that I use to back like art prints and put behind like watercolor prints, like originals that I sell or gift away. This one is, I think it's an 8x10. Yeah. So this one works perfectly for the 7.5 inch hoop. I do each of these specific to the hoop. So because even though this says this is supposed to be a 7.5 inch hoop, they all can get a little bit warped and have a slightly different shape, slightly different size. So I always just kind of use this specific hoop that I'm working on. So what I'm gonna do is put my hoop down on this piece of chipboard and use my pencil to trace around the circle. So now I have a circle drawn on this piece of chipboard that is the exact size of my hoop. And then what I'm gonna do is take my scissors and cut this circle out. I'm trying to stay kind of as close to that line as I can. Okay, so we have that cut out. Let me clean up this and okay, now this should be sized to fit this, and it is. Sometimes it needs a little trim or a few little pieces cut down a little bit. This might need some, but I think we can make it work. Okay, then I take my finished piece again, and I take the inner hoop, I put the piece of chipboard down, I place this where it needs to be, try to center it as good as I can, but again, this is a handmade item, so there are going to be some slight imperfections, and that's one of the nice things about it, honestly. So get that placed, And if you look on the back, you can see now this hoop, this piece of cut chipboard is inside of here, so it's kind of secured, and it also covers that stitching on the back of here to kind of protect it. And then we're going to go ahead and tighten this up. Now remember, as you're tightening it, to tightening the screw up at the top, to go ahead and tighten your fabric as well. To get it as neat and clean as you can. Okay, and I think that looks pretty good. So I'm gonna go ahead and tighten this all the way. Next up, we are going to go to our thread, and you can use any color. I tend to use white because I usually buy just a couple of skeins of white embroidery floss at once. And we are going to just start by threading a needle. Now you want about the amount that it would take to go all the way around this, plus a tiny bit more. So a lot of times I'll just leave it on here and just keep threading it so that there's no waste, but you don't have to do that. And I'm going to use all 6 strands of thread here, so I'm going to go ahead and use my larger needle to make it a little bit easier to thread. Can we get it the first try? Yes. Okay. So I'm not going to knot either end of this. Now what I'm going to do here, you can start on the outside or the inside. It's not that important. I tend to start on the outside, and I go right around where that the top screw is, and I just do a stitch like this. And when you're pulling the needle through, make sure to leave the tail. And I'm going to do this running stitch all the way around the circle. Again, remembering to leave this tail here. Okay. And then we're going to go ahead and continue this running stitch until about an inch from the original stitch. Then I can go ahead and take off the needle. I don't need that anymore. And now we're left with about an inch in between. We have both ends here. There's no knots on either end. And then we're just going to go ahead and pull from both sides to get it tight. And it's going to just do that. And then what we can do is just tie this in a knot or a bow, and you're good to go. I like to do a small bow. And then we can cut off the excess. And there you go. It is all set. It's ready to go on a shelf or hang up on the wall. You can put a little string or ribbon up at the top and it'll lie flat and it's pretty and the back is protected. And I will show you one more step that I like to do just with my own branding for finishing these off before I go ahead and list them in my shop or send them off. And so I have this wax seal stamp with my name on it, created by EJF, and I'm going to just pick any. I have this one that I've already started, so I'm going to go ahead and light this wick, and then I have a and do it this way. I like doing it this way. It just a little more relaxing. I have a glue gun that I use for just wax sticks that is really nice if you're doing multiples, more than one, you just want to get it out fast. But generally, if I have the time, I like the process of doing it this way a little bit better. And so I'm just melting down some wax here. If I was just backing this with fabric, I would not do it like this because I wouldn't want to put this heat onto the fabric. But because I have this thick piece of chipboard in between the wax and my fabric, I'm okay with that. And this is just for my own branding. You can sign the back, you can put a sticker, you can put your name, you can leave it blank. Some people use pretty fabric on the back. So I'm gonna get about a quarter, the size of about a quarter works for mine. I think we're just about there. Yeah. Then I'm going to place my stamp down, give that a minute to set up. I think it's been enough time. And then I'm just gonna gently pull the stamp away, and there you go. Now my wax seal is on the back of this. So you know it came from my hands, my shop. All right, I hope that helps and gives you some more ideas on how to finish your own embroidery hoops.